Welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. I'm Rausan Pereira. We're going to bring you all the latest as far as the FIFA World Cup 2018 is concerned. 7 goals were scored in the matches that were played yesterday. All the victorious teams scored 2 goals apiece. There was only one opponent that scored a goal. We'll recap all those matches for you in just a bit. But before that, let's take a look at what's in store for us as far as today is concerned. Belgium will play Tunisia in the first match of the day. This is the second round of the Group G games as Belgium look to seal their place in the knockout stages, while Tunisia must win if they want to stay in Russia. Tunisia may opt for extra firepower in attack as they look to save their World Cup with a win.
After defeating World Cup debutants Panama 3-0 in their opening match, Belgium will look to secure their place in the knockout stages when they meet Tunisia in Moscow. Belgium striker Romelu Lukaku shone with a brace against Panama and is expected to play a big role in this match too. Belgium's centre-backs Vincent Kompany and Thomas Vermaelen are again expected to miss the match due to injury.
A team that has always played 4-3-3, looking for that individual quality of Sliti and Kastri and Yusuf. Now they adapted to a back 5. They shows you that they are flexible, they're tactically very, very aware, and they are probably the most dynamic team that we faced since we came together.
Tunisia are looking to bounce back after a 2-1 defeat to England in their opening match. Having defended for much of their opening match against the English team, Tunisia will now try to show more attacking intent to move beyond the group stage.
احنا حاضرين ان شاء الله نكونوا جاهزين ان شاء الله نكونوا تخطينا خاصة اثار وسلبيات المباراة الأولى ضد المنتخب الإنجليزي. منتخب آخر منتخب ثاني فما تغيير معناها بين المنتخبين الاثنين. إن شاء الله نحاولوا باش نكونوا في المستوى المطلوب.
If Tunisia lose this match and England beat Panama, they will be eliminated. While a draw would leave the Tunisians needing to beat Panama and hoping Belgium lose to England in the final group games. Kumar Abhishek's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Belgium versus Tunisia, the first match of the day. Joining me in our studio, like always, is Jyoti and Burrett, former Indian national player. And with us is Shekhar Luthra, sports editor of the DNA. Shekhar, what's likely to happen in this particular match? Belgium played a fantastic opening game. Lukaku is in form. Despite some of their key players missing out, they have performed well.
I think that's a blessing in disguise that without Kompany and other players, the key players, Vermaelen, they are still, doing so well. They are looking like a champion team, and it's a kind of, another added advantage whenever they come back, at whatever stage, they'll have that bench strength, or probably to start with, they'll have others on the bench. So it should not be a problem for them. They are looking in form, and when looking at how the other team has also played, I think it should not be a problem. But again, as we have seen in this particular World Cup, the underdogs are always, creating those problems. So they just have to be a little bit on the defensive. Cautious. But again, cautious, but to start with, maybe a little bit of tentative that they should not be conceding first goal, but otherwise should not be a problem.
Jyoti, a problem of plenty as far as the coach is concerned, is that an issue, or do you think that's a good thing?
It's a good thing as long as they're working well together, and I think looking at the first game, they worked well together. I think Hazard, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Mertens, the 4 of them are the key players up front at least. And they're gelling well together. They seem to be understanding each other well. That's something I was a bit skeptical about when I first, I was waiting to watch them play. Because big names sometimes don't gel so well together.
Talking about big names, we have Romelu Lukaku. He's a player to watch out for as far as this match is concerned. 25 years of age, 70 matches, 38 goals. From a striker's perspective, Jyoti, how would you look at Lukaku?
He's got such a physical presence. Oh, yes. And, him just being up front there, he can hold the ball up. played back to his attacking midfielders. It's such a plus point to have him in the team.
He's a holding forward, isn't he, Shekhar? And that's something that we've seen the forwards like that do well. Big, muscular forwards who can hold the ball and wait for the other players to come up and meet them and then do something with the ball.
Look at his
Ronaldo,
speed also.
not Cristiano Ronaldo, but the Brazilian Ronaldo.
Yes.
You can draw some kind of parallels there.
Yes, he's a great finisher. We have seen at the club level also. Whenever he gets a ball, it's always there is chances more than 50% he's going to score. And that's a great confidence any team has when your forward is like that. But looking at, just not by having a creativity there in the penalty area, but also his speed with the ball. Whenever, though he hardly, goes at the middle, but yes, whenever he gets a chance, his speed with the ball is phenomenal that way.
Indeed, his speed with the ball is phenomenal. As far as defenders are concerned, Jyoti, is it a problem really? Do they fear big forwards like Romelu Lukaku and Diego Costa, or the pacey ones like Neymar?
I think they fear both because a team needs to be balanced, and I think if you have a mix of the two, that would be the best. And I think he's a traditional striker, someone who holds the ball up, waits for his team to come up. So I mean, him with Mertens, who's your quick, speedy striker, it's the perfect combination.
And De Bruyne, the playmaker.
And De Bruyne, the playmaker.
At the end of the day, his passes are just phenomenal. He's done a fantastic job at the club. He's done well as far as this tournament also is concerned. If Belgium have to go far, I believe that De Bruyne is the key. Moving on now to our next match. Mexico will play South Korea next in their second group game, as they will be looking to seal their place in the round of 16 after handing an upset defeat to the reigning world champions Germany last week. This will be the second ever World Cup meeting between the two sides, with Mexico emerging winners the last time.
Mexico has won all 3 games it has played against the Asian opponents in a World Cup. The South Americans, which stunned the world and champions Germany in their opener last week, has already impressed many with their defense. Mexican goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa is continuing with neat hands and a strong resistance, as he had shown in the 2014 World Cup. The Mexican defense posed a big challenge even for the German side, which boasts of strikers like Müller, Kimmich and Ozil. It will be interesting to see how the South Koreans strategize to breach past the Mexican wall. While the Mexicans will be raring to go and win the game to cement their place in the next round, South Korea will be looking to end their current losing spree at the World Cup, for they are winless in their last 7 matches at the world stage. South Korea, which suffered a 1-0 defeat in their opener against Sweden, will be without their fullback Park Joo-hoo, who has been ruled out of the rest of the World Cup due to a hamstring injury.
전술 변화나 선수 변화는 있을 수 있다고 볼 수 있겠습니다. 왜냐하면 서두에 얘기했듯이 스웨덴하고 멕시코는 확연하게 다른 스타일이다 보니까 우리도 거기에는
The Mexicans will be looking towards their strikers Javier Fernandez and Hirving Lozano to keep the dream run going. Raj Yadav's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
As far as Mexico is concerned, Shekhar, a good opponent to have after Germany, because they fought it out hard against Germany. They should have scored 5 or 6 goals in that match. But do you think that an easy opponent could be an issue?
Looking at Koreans, obviously they were not so creative on the field. But again, their speed is something which rattles their opponent. And also, the lack of having a quality striker is the only issue with Koreans. Otherwise, they are pretty good side from Asia.
But the golden era is over of 2002.
Definitely.
They are rebuilding now, and the process is still on.
I mean, that's rebuilding has been going on for last 12 years or so. Every time they qualify, but after that, hosting the World Cup after that, they have never done anything at this stage. But again, talking about Mexico, Mexicans are very tough physically. And Koreans for that matter, though height is almost the same, that would not be a problem, you know, playing aerial football for any of the team. But I think defending against the quality strikers would be a challenge to Koreans.
You know,
and for Mexico, I don't see any problem looking at their first game. They should be sailing through.
But complacency could be a problem, Jyoti. You know, the Mexicans cannot afford to be complacent at this stage.
Yeah, you can't take any opponent lightly at this stage. Of course, you know, looking at their, you know, previous performance, they impressed me the most. Their counterattacks are at a blistering pace. You know, they are a side who, it's hard to keep them down.
Is it also because of the slow feet as far as the Germans were concerned?
Maybe it looked slower, maybe because the Germans were so flat-footed that day. But I'm sure, you know, every game is tough, and I'm sure they're going into this, you know, prepared to give it their all.
You know, the problem area, Shekhar, as far as the Mexicans are concerned, do you believe is their finishing really? Because, you know, their wingers are quick, they are nippy, they are fast, they do everything right except when they reach the box.
That's also one of the problems. But again, the last game, the problem was also the midfield, you know, somewhere. They were not getting the same kind of feed which probably, you know, Brazil or Argentinians do get, you know, from their midfielders, from their playmakers. Mexico, we all know, they don't play much in Europe. They play in their own half. So that's been a problem. That, you know, that kind of exposure, playing with the superstars of, you know, Europe or Latin America, that's been a challenge for them. Because they always come as one of the best teams at the World Cup stage. But again, with the lack of exposure at that particular level.
Sure. You know, what I like about the Mexican team, Jyoti, is the fact that they have a very good mix of experience and youthfulness as well. If you look at the team, 4 international amongst themselves have over 500 matches or close to around 500 matches. And then you have a mix of youngsters as well. And they seem to be gelling well.
That is vital, you know, having your experienced players and your young players working together. Even going forward, this is a team that is going to be, you know, very, very hard to contend with because they have a mix. And the experienced players add to the side, the young players add to the side. So it's the perfect blend of experience and young. And, you know, it's working for them.
Indeed, it is working for them. The Mexicans, it remains to be seen whether their dream run at this particular tournament will continue or not. Moving on to the next match of the day, the most crucial one. Germany will face Sweden in their must-win game of the league stage. Sweden leads Group F after defeating South Korea in their first match, while Germany, the reigning world champions and 4-time cup winners, are facing an early and humiliating elimination prospect if they lose today's match.
Germany are determined and optimistic ahead of match against Sweden, the team they have not lost to in the last 11 meetings, winning 6 times and drawing 5. The 4-time world champions looked off colour in the opening game of this edition of the World Cup with passive play and aging stars, who are outpaced by the Mexicans, something the Swedes would be focusing on.
Das ist für uns jetzt schon ein K.O.-Spiel. Dementsprechend ist die Einstellung einfach so, dass wir jetzt anstatt den 3 Vorrundenspielen halt jetzt schon 2 K.O.-Spiele mehr haben und ich glaube, die letzten Jahre waren wir immer gut in den K.O.-Spielen.
Sweden leads Group F after the 1-0 win against South Korea in the opener. A win against Germany will not just pave the way into the round of 16. It will also turn the favourites table at this World Cup, which has already seen many favourite tag holders gasping for breath and clinging for survival.
Jag har sagt många gånger att vi ska ut och försöka njuta där imorgon. Vi fick en bra start med en vinst mot Sydkorea och vi har ingenting att förlora. Vi ska känna att efter matchen har vi gjort allt tillsammans så vi ska vara nöjda med prestationen och förhoppningsvis får vi med oss ett resultat där efteråt också.
To do the Germans in, the Swedes will have to be on their personal best form. The team has done that in the qualifications, beating France at home and overcoming Italy in a 2-leg playoff. That will be the kind of play that the Swedes will want to display. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Germany versus Sweden, probably the match of tonight, of course. Shekhar, Germany will have to take the game to Sweden today because Sweden will just be happy with the draw.
You you know, German history says they are good when it comes to producing motors. They are one team. If you feed them, you have to do this. They exactly do the, you know, perform like the pupils of, you know, a great master. But the problem last time was they neither had Klose to finish off, you know, that strike, or, you know, the other star players, Schweinsteiger and others. Ozil was so lackluster that day. Müller was looking somewhere, you know, maybe he's 4 years more older. He should not be there, you know, at this stage. But again, I think this team has to regroup. The last 3-4 days, ever since they lost that game to, you know, Mexico, there were so much of, you know, I would say so much of talks about some of the retirements within their hotel, you know, resort there. So whether that comes up during if they lose early, if they go out early, there could be problem a lot for these players as well as for their coach.
We could expect a few retirements if Germany goes out of the tournament at this stage. But they are a team that they are the defending champions. They have a point to prove. Can we expect something big from Germany today, Jyoti?
If Germany needs to perform today, they need their midfield to be more creative than they were in their first game. So we expect a lot from Toni Kroos. We expect a lot from Ozil. We need them to create. They were running out of ideas that first day. And if they can, you know, get the game going, and Müller needs to be on point today. Also, the defense was suspect that day. They seemed very flat-footed, very lackluster, you know. So they really, in every department, need to step it up if they want to win today.
I have not seen Germany so slow on the field for so many years. They are always been very, I mean,
efficient.
When you talk, efficient. They're like machines. They run like, you know, as if their engine has been overhauled before the World Cup.
They are as good as their cars.
Yes, they are as good as their machines and cars. I mean, for the first time, I actually realized that probably this team is a bit more older than we all expected.
They've all had long seasons, you know, as far as the club football last year is concerned. They've all played at the highest level, so they've played a lot more matches. Yeah, so could that be a factor, Jyoti? I mean, is that a factor? Are they tired at the end of the day?
To be honest, I think they're a little over the hill. I think this side is, you know, it's about, I would say 80-20 in terms of older players and younger players. Draxler is probably the only young guy there on the field. Apart from that, you know, the same names, Gomez, we've been seeing this, Hummels, these guys have been playing for the past three, the Pereira, they've been around for so long, and I don't understand why they're still there.
You know, Shekhar, can we expect some kind of a radical change in the lineup today? Maybe the coach is going to do something different this time around. He's an experienced coach. He's, you know, he's seen a lot of football. He's played a lot of football. What do you expect?
You know, at this level, you can't experiment a lot, and especially at his stage. Maybe the first match, he had that chance. But in second match, when it's a do-or-die situation for you, he can't experiment. Can you expect Müller to be, you know, sitting outside and some newcomer from Bayern Munich or other you know, that bench strength, they are coming up? No, you can't take a chance, because once you take a chance, the draggers are be out for you, you know.
No chances to be taken in this particular match, but score lines from the both of you. Jyoti, what do you expect? I mean, the score line to be in today's match between Germany and Sweden.
I'm going to expect Germany to come out and be efficient like they are. So I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0 Germany, okay.
It has to be very close, because against Sweden, you can't score more. Against Switzerland, you can't score more. So it has to be 1-0, 2-1, very, very close matches.
I say 2-1 Germany. Let's see what happens at the end of the evening. All right, we'll slip into a short break now, but we'll take a look at what happened in the World Cup last night, and we'll bring you a recap of those matches and discuss them as well. On the other side, stay tuned. We'll be right back.